You're looking for the best deal on the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'm here to help. All of the carriers, AT&T, Boost Mobile, T-Mobile, and Verizon, are all offering you up to $1,000 off the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. And some carriers are even offering bonus credits if you switch. But which deal is best for you specifically? I'm going to help you out. Rather than going through each deal individually, because each deal is different and each person's needs are different, I'm going to be covering key principles and catches that you need to know about that apply to all deals. And this information will help you pick the number one best deal for you that will save you the absolute most money. First, there are 4 key catches you need to know about that apply to all of these deals. Catch number 1 is the $1,000 of credit is not applied up front. Instead, it's applied over 24 or 36 months. What this means for you is if you wanted to switch carriers after just 1 year, you would actually forfeit any remaining future credits that you would have received, and you would have to pay out any remaining balance owed on the phone. This can end up costing you between $500 and over $700, depending on when you want to switch carriers. So even though there are no more 2 or 3 year contracts, and you are free to leave at any time, having the 24 or 36-month financing agreements and forcing customers to pay off any remaining balance owed on their phones is the new way that carriers are trying to incentivize people to stick with them for the full 2 or 3 years. Before we get to the biggest catch of them all, catch number 3 is the phone will be locked to the carrier you sign up for. What this means is if you sign up for AT&T, your phone will only work on AT&T. For most people, this isn't an issue. You're only going to be using AT&T anyways, but for some individuals, this may be a bigger deal. For example, having a locked phone means you won't be able to use the low-cost international eSIM plans when traveling abroad. Instead, you'll be forced to use the roughly $10 per day passes from the big carriers directly. Another downside is you won't be able to use multiple networks on your phone if you wanted improved coverage. For example, you could sign up for a plan on T-Mobile and also sign up for a plan on Verizon. Then you could toggle between the different networks depending on which one had the fastest speeds and best coverage in any given area. These are niche circumstances, and most of you will be totally fine with a locked phone. But for some of you who would benefit from having an unlocked phone, I personally feel it is important and something to keep in mind. Okay, now we have catch number 4, and this is by far the biggest catch of them all. And it is, in order to get the full $1,000 of promotional credit, you typically need to be on the carrier's top tier, most expensive plans. Here's how it works. The carriers typically offer 3 tiers of plans. The top tier plans are the ones that are eligible for the full $1,000 off. This is going to include any plan from AT&T, Boost Mobile's Infinite Access for iPhone plan, T-Mobile Go 5G Next, and Verizon Unlimited Ultimate. Next, you have the mid-tier plans. These are more affordable plans, but they're typically only eligible for between $730 and $830 off the new iPhones. The plans here are T-Mobile Go 5G Plus and Verizon Unlimited Plus. And lastly, you have the third tier of plans, which are the entry-level unlimited plans. These are by far the most affordable plans, but they're also not eligible for that much credit. Typically, you're looking to get between $300 and $400 of trade-in credit when you're on these plans. And these plans are T-Mobile Go 5G and Verizon Unlimited Welcome. So the question for you becomes, how do you get the best deal possible? Is it worth it to pay a little extra for a top-tier plan to get the extra $200 to $300 of trade-in credit? Or is it a better overall value to get a mid-tier plan, which will be a little bit more affordable, and get a little bit less trade-in credit for your old device? Lucky for you, I've actually done all of this math out for you in my video on the cheapest way to upgrade your iPhone every 3 years. And looking at the numbers here for a single line, you can see it's actually more affordable to go with a mid-tier plan or an entry-level plan than it is to go with a top-tier plan. But of course, that may change if you have 3, 4, or 5 lines, so definitely consider checking out the full video linked in the video description if you'd like to see the full breakdown. Next, you're probably wondering, should you stick with your current carrier, or will you get a better deal by switching to a new carrier? I think for most people, the truth is it's better to stick with your current carrier. You already know that coverage is good, service is good, and you're still going to get a great deal. Plus, you don't have to go through the hassle of switching carriers. That said, if you live in an area where multiple carriers offer excellent service, then you will get more value by switching to a new carrier. For example, Verizon is offering extra credit for new customers who switch to Verizon. Additionally, new customers who switch to Verizon and sign up for Unlimited Plus are actually eligible for the full $1,000 off promotion, even though Unlimited Plus is the mid-tier plan. So that's one example of how switching carriers can give you a better overall deal. But before you switch or get any of these promotions, you have to ask, are these deals even worth it? I love this question because I love doing the full analysis and breakdown and figuring out if these promotions are actually worth it. And I've created a bunch of resources I think you'll find helpful. I did the cheapest way to upgrade your iPhone every 1 year, the cheapest way to upgrade your iPhone every 2 years, and the cheapest way to upgrade your iPhone every 3 years. All of those have full video breakdowns and spreadsheets that you can find linked in the video description for completely free. The bottom line for most of you watching this right now is if you have 3 or 4 lines, doing a carrier trade-in deal is typically a great option. The family plan pricing makes the cost for the plan actually pretty reasonable, and the promotional credit you get is typically great, so doing a carrier trade-in deal can be worth it. Here is the 3-line pricing breakdown that you're looking at now, and here is the 4-line pricing breakdown if you were to upgrade your phone every 3 years. However, if you have 1 or 2 lines, it turns out your most affordable option is actually to buy the iPhone unlocked from Apple and consider a prepaid carrier such as US Mobile, Visible, Mint Mobile, or others. Let me give you an example. Instead of signing up for Verizon Unlimited Ultimate, which is $90 per month and required to get the full $1,000 of trading credit, you may consider US Mobile's Unlimited Premium plan. This has about 90% of the same features as Verizon's plan, and it costs under half the price. Going with US Mobile Unlimited Premium alone would save you over $550 per year. And if you wanted to save even more money, you may also consider US Mobile Unlimited Starter. This comes in at just $25 per month, and it has all of the features that most people need. When you do the math out and look at the pricing for a single line, going with US Mobile is a great option. It is easily your most affordable option and saves you a couple $100s per year compared to going with a big carrier. And the same thing applies for 2 lines. You save yourself a lot of money by buying your phone full price from Apple and going with a lower cost cell phone plan. Some prepaid carriers will even offer extra discounts when you buy a new iPhone from them, such as Red Pocket, which is offering, I think, $200 off the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. So the combination of getting a super affordable cell phone plan with potentially a discount on the phone makes these prepaid carriers a superb value if you have 1 or 2 lines. But what if you really want to finance your phone and you have 1 or 2 lines? I mean, not everyone can afford the $1,200 upfront price tag of the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. So if you want to finance your phone, you've got 2 good options. Option number 1 is if you have the Apple Card, you can actually go to Apple's website and select the T-Mobile model iPhone and pay with it with Apple Card monthly financing. The reason this works is it turns out the T-Mobile model iPhone ships unlocked from Apple, so it will work on any affordable plan that you choose. Now, this method only works with the Pro and the Pro Max model iPhones, so do keep that in mind. Your second option that you may consider is actually going with Boost Mobile's Infinite Access for iPhone plan. This plan is $65 per month, and it includes $1,000 off the iPhone 16 Pro Max today with no trade-in, and then you have the option to trade in your device every year to get $1,000 off the new iPhone. When you do the math out, your net cost per year on Boost Mobile is actually not too bad, and this could be a very reasonable option to consider if you really wanted to finance your phone. Okay, there is one more key thing I want to leave you with, and it's to really encourage you to do the math out for any deal or promotion you are considering. Look at what plan is required to get the promotion, how much that plan will cost depending on how many lines you have, and how much credit that plan in particular is eligible for. And also consider what would happen if you went with a mid-tier plan as opposed to a top-tier plan. Doing the math out is really the best way to get the number 1 best deal for you and save yourself the absolute most money. There are free resources in the video description where I do all of the math out for you, and that can be a great place to start. If you enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it with one friend because it helps support my channel. And hey, It may even help your friend get a great deal on the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. My name is Stetson, and I hope that's helpful. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time. Also, it is so hot in here. Oh my gosh. Let's get out of here.